Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. Before we start today's video, just want to give a huge shout out to all the dads and fathers today. Happy Father's Day. You guys are the real MVPs. Any dads or fathers that are subscribed to this YouTube channel, let me know down below in the comment section. Would love to wish you guys a happy Father's Day. But in today's video, what I wanted to discuss with you guys is an NBA trade rumor. I feel like with the upcoming draft, we're going to see more trade rumors and reports because there have been multiple sources from Shams Charania saying that the draft could be very active in terms of trades. The player we're going to be talking about today is Trey Murphy from the New Orleans Pelicans. I want to read you guys a report that was from May 30th, and then there was a report yesterday on June 13th, and kind of react to both of these reports. So the first report we're going to be talking about was reported by Kevin O'Connor on May 30th. So a couple of weeks ago, coming out of New Orleans, and here's the quote. Quote, there are no untouchables in New Orleans. League sources say the Pelicans are gauging the market for everyone on their roster. They very well could end up keeping their core pieces, namely Zion Williamson, but it appears the Pelicans are looking into different paths this summer, depending on what opportunities would become available. Or become available. I don't know why I said would become available. So this report was a couple of weeks ago. They're gauging the market on everyone on their roster, not just Zion, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, with Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars being brand new in New Orleans. They have no ties to anyone on this roster. Those aren't their guys. And I think when you look at guys like a Zion, like a Trey Murphy and a Herb Jones, you could probably get a pretty good haul for all three of those players. Now, again, this was a couple of weeks ago that KOC did report that the Pelicans aren't making anyone untouchable. They're listening to conversations from other NBA teams across the NBA. So that report a couple of weeks ago from Kevin O'Connor about the Pelicans had mentioned that they're gauging the market for everybody. Nobody's untouchable. And I think a guy that a lot of Pistons fans have been talking about is Trey Murphy III. And deservedly so. He's a very good basketball player. Now, obviously, he has not made an all-star team, has not made an all-NBA team, but if you actually watch Trey Murphy, he's a very good basketball player. And there was an alleged asking price that was reported of what the New Orleans Pelicans may be looking for if they want to move on from him. So this is what they're asking for. One veteran player who can contribute in the playoffs. Okay, so they're looking for a vet to replace a Trey Murphy. Now, what does Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver do in New Orleans? I have no idea. I look at that roster and I think maybe you're a play-in team. Maybe you're a top 7 seed in the Western Conference if everything goes right and you're 100% healthy. But you got Zion Williamson on that roster. DeJounte Murray's coming back from multiple injuries. It's a really weird situation in New Orleans. Okay, so kind of circling back, they're looking for a veteran player that can contribute in the playoffs. So I'm thinking Tobias Harris right off the top of my head. Maybe it's Tobias, right? They're looking for one young prospect with potential. Okay, you guys, the Detroit Pistons, not only do they have what New Orleans is looking for, they have multiple young prospects with potential. You could talk about Jalen Duren. You could talk about Jaden Ivey. You could talk about Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, Bobby Klitman. Like, the Pistons have a lot of young guys on this roster. In fact, they have 8 guys on the roster under the age of 25 years old. Didn't even mention Isaiah Stewart. Like, there's so many guys, I can't think of them all off the top of my head. Like, there's a lot of guys on the Detroit Pistons roster that definitely check that box. A young prospect with potential. I think we can all agree that we love our young core, but when you're talking about upgrading the roster, eventually you do have to say goodbye to some players on the team. And I fall victim to it all the time, you guys. I get attached to players that we draft. Like, to this day, I am still upset with the Sadiq Bey trade. I still am. Like, I still can't fathom that you traded for James Wiseman for Sadiq Bey, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But just letting you guys know, I can sympathize with you guys that, get attached to players and you don't want to let them go and you want to give them a little bit more time to develop and grow with the team. 100% get it. But when you want to upgrade the roster and it's a player like Trey Murphy, one of those guys is going to be in the package because that's what they are reportedly asking for. Now, this is where I think there's going to be some divide amongst you guys. So, multiple first round picks. Okay. So, the Detroit Pistons this season, their first round pick is getting converted to the Minnesota Timberwolves because of the Isaiah Stewart trade, as you guys know from a few years ago. So, they have future firsts to trade. Not only do they have future first round picks, you guys, the Detroit Pistons collectively have 15 second round picks over the next few seasons. So the Pistons have their first and they have draft picks that they can offer. If they truly want to be a player for a Trey Murphy III, I really think this is a swing that could either make you look like an absolute genius or it could blow up in your face. Not saying that Trey Murphy couldn't work next to Cade or Sar or any of those guys. I think he could. But I think how it could maybe blow up in your face is maybe the fit just isn't working out. Now, Trajan was there when the Pelicans did draft him. I think that is something that shouldn't go unnoticed or, we don't talk about it. Trajan is very familiar with a lot of the Pelicans core. We did this all last season about, Brandon Ingram. But there was a lot of things with Brandon Ingram that just screamed, don't trade for him. Trey Murphy, on the other hand, he's young. He can shoot the three, very athletic. I think there's a lot to like there. I think what you have to ask yourself is, what are you willing to give up to get a Trey Murphy? Me personally, I think you're probably trading either 2 or 3 first. You're giving one of your young prospects and a veteran contributor. I don't really think that asking price is too crazy for Trey Murphy. I happen to think very highly of him, but I honestly think if the Pistons really want to make a move and keep their standings in the East, because you're going to have teams like Toronto, they're going to be much better. Philly's going to be, I think, improved. I don't see them being a 20-win team again. They had so many injuries last season. Orlando is being extremely aggressive of upgrading their roster. They had a crap load of injuries last year. They're going to be improved. If you're the Pistons, I think you want to keep pace. Maybe you want to go for a top 4 seed. I think this team has the potential to do that. I really do. I think this team showed me last year that they can play with anyone in the NBA. And if you're adding a guy like a Trey Murphy to this roster, I think it adds another dynamic offensively, especially if you're pairing him with Cade and Asar out there. And defensively, I like Trey Murphy. I think he's just a really intriguing player. But let me know what you guys think of this reporting with the New Orleans Pelicans and Trey Murphy III. Would you trade for him right now, given this asking price, or would you hold off and maybe see if the asking price either goes down to the trading deadline, or maybe you're just sitting on your hands waiting to see what's initially offered from other NBA teams? I mean, there's teams like the Lakers that are interested. There's teams like the Nuggets that are interested. But I'll talk to you guys down below in the comment section. And like always, hope you guys are staying safe. Take care. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.